what's cracking with the people here at Seeker's Nest? We got a show lined up with nothing but the best, featuring two dudes too cool for school, making up the rhymes and making the girls drool. Sitting on the couch and all smirking at me like, what's up with this hijabi? Without further ado, let's introduce the two. Wave your hand, say hello, and welcome to the show.
Yo! What's up, brothers? Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Sorry, we don't have the thing for rapping, but alhamdulillah, I think that's the best that we can do.
Khabar semua.
Well, alhamdulillah. Thank you so much. First of all, we want to thank Muhammad Sharin and also brother Hafiz. Yeah, for coming down to Seeker Session. And it's an honor for us today to share the same studio with both of you. I know you all are busy. One is a very busy dad, and another one is going to be soon dad to be, inshallah.
Yep.
So how's things for both of you? Zarin, how are you, man?
Ya, Ustaz Indra, terima kasih
Yeah.
kami dekat rancangan ni.
Not to be so formal lah. Kita santai. Hari kita santai. Today we santai, relax. Okay, how are you, Zarin?
Alhamdulillah. Kita tengah ambil masa ni untuk fallback sekejap. Apa-apa yang kita selalu buat kan. Alhamdulillah semua.
So far for me, alhamdulillah, everything like what Sharin cakap is that with the COVID situation right now, you know, we take time to really reflect on what we have missed out.
I mean, talking about COVID, pejam pelik, close our eyes. Man, in English, close, open eyes. Already 5 months lah.
Yep.
Right. Ever since when the first circuit breaker sits in,
Yeah.
And I think it have affect a lot of industries out there, definitely. And it's something that all of us here going to remember throughout the rest of our life. 2020 it
didn't exist, bro.
Doesn't exist. It doesn't feel like it's a year that we can commemorate our life to the fullest. But it's a year where we learn the value of life. That's what I think lah. Right?
Betul. Saya setuju.
Yeah, man. Instead of learning about the value of life, we want to learn and understand from your sharing experience from today's podcast on the topic of hip hop culture. Whoa, yeah. Yo. To those listening and to those viewing Seeker Session, maybe we have Hafiz and brother Shahrin here. These two guys are hip hop legends in Singapore. I would say they are the old school guys. They are the old school amigos.
Old school.
So, without further ado, man, we want to actually use this platform to actually share your experience, your knowledge, your in-depth views, right, on this topic, because you have been involved with this hip hop scene and this I would say this whole culture since you are young. So maybe we want to start with brother Zarin here first. How do you first start with hip hop? Right.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Yeah.
Bagaimana first time saya bermula dengan budaya hip hop ni
We can talk in English also,
Boleh.
Don't be so pressure, because I know Hafiz English is not so good, so we have to
Malay
give him
not so good.
Malay is not so good, so we give him some credit today lah.
I try my best lah kan.
Okay, silakan brother Zarin.
Okay, macam seperti tadi yang permulaan tu Ustaz Indra main lagu Fresh Prince of Bel-Air punya instrumental kan?
Yeah.
Okay, pada tahun 93, 94 kita selalu ditayangkan rancangan seperti itu di siaran TV di Singapura. So sebagai budak-budak kecil, kita selalu buka TV, kita tengok oh ni apa ni, alamak bestnya. Kadang kita tengok dia punya rancangan dia, ada muzik dia. Dan selepas tu malam-malam kadang ada MTV Jams. MTV Jams after pukul 10 gitu.
MTV Jams.
So daripada situlah kita belum lagi beli CD lagi belum beli kaset.
That time is all TV, bro.
Yes, TV.
We grew up in the generation of maybe late 80s coming to the early 90s where we enjoy viewing Western culture with all this through the television network, you see.
Benar.
So it's not something compared to now, people have Netflix, YouTube, some have Twitters, they view their daily entertainment through
Hard lah kita pay time.
I agree with you. So coming from that generation, Zarin, walk through with us your experience on how you actually really fall in love, right, or really venture into this hip hop culture.
Okay, selepas TV kan, mesti dalam satu rumah Melayu kita mesti ada satu hi-fi, tahu tak? So hi-fi ada macam 2 cassette deck kan. Kita pun gode-gode lah sebagai budak kecil kan, apa benda ni. Dan selepas tu kadang kita ambil kita punya kemungkinan pakcik kita punya kaset apa, kita main-main on side A, side B ke apa. Kita tengok benda ni macam best lah. So itulah datangnya minat kita dalam bidang muzik.
Your interest
sound, I would call it a small little sound system culture.
Yeah, sound system culture.
Elaborate further on that sound system culture.
Dia macam pasal dulu punya hi-fi ada EQ tau. Betul tak?
Oh, last time
Siapa yang mampu ada EQ lah.
Low high mid
So kita main lah. Kita main macam best lah. So kita macam okay. Then after a while kan kita pun dah start mula beli kaset. Macam saya punya kisah saya ni dia bermula daripada satu kawan saya budak kat primary school ni. Dia berikan saya satu kaset Criss Cross lah sebagai hadiah hari jadi.
So it's a present lah.
Present. So saya pula refuse the present. Tapi tak apa, lepas refuse the present saya beli sama kaset tu dekat Queensway. Jadi saya betul, baik lah Criss Cross ni. Alamak, aku tak ambil pula present tu. So
Criss Cross is a brand, is a band lah.
Criss Cross ni
it's itu apa? I miss the bus, right?
Yes, jump. So dalam
you know your
actually I'm the wrong person to be on this show, because I never have interest in hip hop. I'm more into the rock side actually. So
you don't look like a rock person also.
No, I listen to a lot of rock music.
No, but don't be surprised. Both of us also not only into hip hop, but before we love this culture of hip hop, we also macam
kedai kat Queensway tu siapa apik tu mesti ada jual kaset rock.
And we also mad rockers also,
So
all rounder lah bro Hafiz skater semua lah. So man, going back to your what you shared, Zarin, is more of what music that you are exposed with back then. So maybe I believe back in the 90s, right? If you want to compare the music back then and now, a lot of these youngsters nowadays they can't relate. They can relate with Tupac, maybe with Biggie Small. But okay, knowing that you come from that generation, right? How much do you value the music of hip hop back then?
Okay, dia melibatkan macam kita ponder benda yang kita suka dengar, atau kita konsumsi benda yang lain daripada lain lah. So kalau kita fikir aku dengar benda hip hop ni lain lah, korang semua dengar rock, aku dengar hip hop, aku nanti lain.
It's always macam you want
thinking
to be,
that we are the exceptional,
different from the norm.
I see. Okay, maybe we already listen a bit from Brother Zarin kita. Maybe you want to go further deeper with our brother Hafiz. Share with our viewers and our listeners out there your first encounter with hip hop culture.
Okay, before talking about hip hop, because I was I think in primary school, primary school. So I have my cousin Deal, who also like musically inclined. So was introduced me to grunge music. Then after that, when I go to secondary school, it's more of like before hip hop was also even the topic. I was into like punk music.
Punk
music, like those anarchy punk kind of thing, the UK kind of sound. So when I remember when I was in secondary 2, I think my first CD that maybe compared to Brother Sharin, he listens to more old school that time, because I think he's older than me. I was younger back then. I was only 14 years old. That's why
But you don't need to rub the salt in the wound. Remind him older.
So I think my first CD was Tupac. I think Is it
Me Against the
All Eyes
World?
on Me?
All Eyes on Me.
All Eyes on Me.
or Me Against the World.
Okay.
Then Wu-Tang Clan, not the 36 Chamber, the Triumph, the one with the song
Wu-Tang Forever.
Wu-Tang Forever. Then that's where suddenly in secondary 2 I start to away from the punk music and I moved to hip hop. So then I start to rap.
So when you say that you start to be more active with the hip hop culture back in the secondary stage, what drive you to that scene?
Because I was basically macam play music when you were younger, so because for hip hop what I feel like, or just my opinion, because it's more of like a unity kind of thing, and also for me hip hop also boleh kata is the same as punk kind of music. It's like a rebel music or against the system, that kind of thing that you, like what Shardin was saying, that you want to be different from the norm. Because in high school time kan, secondary 2 tu, I don't think a lot of people are listening like Backstreet Boys.
Oh my God, Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, all the boy bands. Then when you are listening to macam grunge music, punk music or hip hop music, you are different from the rest. And then that is the stage, the youth stage, where you want to be different.
Kononnya lah.
Konon macam kita
Nak macam feeling underground lah.
feeling underground or feeling cool, different gitu ya.
But definitely, when Shema, you yourself have your own experience with this scene, hip hop scene. Maybe you want to share some lights on that. your phone cannot be so near with the mic.
No, I don't have experience in the hip hop scene.
Okay.
I do have friends in the hip hop scene.
Okay.
So macam the culture is different because for me, like I was hanging out. So my good friends are guys, who are in bands. So like macam I remember was I think it was Urban Waste, and then after that there was Urban Exchange also dengan Kim and all that. Yeah. So I was hanging around with them also lah. But I didn't really I wasn't really fond of the hip hop scene lah. Macam for me, because when I compare between the two, I prefer rock is because macam I find hip hop was like a lot about sex. And it was a lot
Terlalu
about
barat itu.
But we can talk about we can talk about that, like what you said,
Yeah,
sex appeal kind of thing. That's
Yeah,
correct,
so
correct.
and it's very interesting how macam the music influences the youth of that time. So macam it was a lot about sex. It was about drugs. It was about macam like
Rebelling against the government,
that kind
yeah.
of thing. The rebel not so much.
No, man, if you go back to like macam Western rap songs or hip hop song, yes, I think
violence, that kind of
about the gun violence.
It translates to that kind of message.
Liberal arts contoh.
Liberal arts. Wow, man. Maybe for me, I'm quite foreign with this kind of terms. Maybe Zarin, man, please do share a bit on that part. Man, you mentioned about liberal arts.
Okay, I mean, maksud saya tu liberal arts, maksud dia is a form of ideology je, bukannya. It's also perfahaman lah. Bahawasanya di dalam negeri Singapura ni kita terlalu constrict kan dengan benda-benda yang apa kita nak buat tu sebagai anak muda kan. So kita dengar macam rap ni terlalu there's a freedom of speech. There's always about alternate view. There's always about that go get the money, and benda-benda gini lah. So yang berakar di masyarakat barat lah. Jadi pada kita macam aku pun nak jadi barat sikit. Sikit.
Sambal belacan campur dengan cheese lah.
In a way. Sakit perut je tu.
Now goreng pisang dengan cheese.
Wow. That's a fusion really. That is what we call fusion. So man, I believe hip hop culture definitely give a very strong influence towards kita punya youth. And one thing that amazed me, this is just I want to share, maybe we can open this for discussion, is that when I saw hip hop scene back in the 90s, then transit to the early 2000. Now we are in Wawasan 2020.
Yes, Wawasan 2020.
One thing that I find that is very relevant about hip hop self, it's relevant towards every generations. You see, so again, it's relatable. It's relatable. Be it in the 90s, 2000s, and now is very relatable. So maybe Hafiz, share some light on that. What is so unique about hip hop where it is still relatable up to now?
Okay, hip hop actually consists of 4 element.
Yeah.
If you can, because the 4 is not only rapping, it's hip hop.
Yeah.
So hip hop is got to do with MCing,
Yeah.
MCing people who do freestyle
Yeah.
or wrote their own lyrics, or you have a ghostwriter to write for them and they rap. So MC consists of that.
Yeah.
Then second is the breakdancing,
Yeah.
second element.
Oh,
Yeah, breakdancing also part of it. Then third is graffiti art.
Graffiti.
Yeah, and that time in our time, 90s was really
Hot. It's hot. It's super
And
hot, yeah.
Some of our friends who we knew, get caught.
Yeah.
Because
Singapore.
yeah, Singapore. Then the fourth element would be DJing.
Okay, DJing actually mula first.
Oh, yeah,
Baru
the
rap.
sequence, yeah.
Baru breakdance, baru
Here
street
comes the
arts.
guru, bro.
Yes, older.
Here comes the shufu. Main.
And also the question that you posed to us, macam why the generation by generation love hip hop, macam it doesn't die off.
Yeah.
Because I feel hip hop is about just my opinion. For me, why I really loved it actually improved my English back in high school. I belajar a lot of
vocab.
vocab, then the grammar. But of course, sometimes when you read lyrics, it doesn't sound like a proper phrase in English school. But it's just how hip hop is done.
Yeah.
Actually, it's poetry, right?
Yeah, it's more of poetry.
poetry.
And also it makes you, that point of time, it makes you think out of the box though. For the age, my age at time 14, and semua ni abang-abang.
Tak, dia yang salah campur.
Dia salah campur.
Dia patut tak boleh campur kita. Tapi dia salah campur kan.
Yeah, because I used to be one of the...
Betul. Kita pernah discuss benda ni.
Yeah.
Okay. So dia bahan reject lah kira.
Yeah, but that's why I see, for being cool in school, then orang macam, alamak, sini too cool lah, tak boleh campur the same age. Nak kena campur dengan orang yang tua-tua sikit. No, but back to the topic, hip hop really also give a positive light.
Yeah.
You talk about, of course, it touches about racism. It touches about
Life.
Adalah commonality dia macam
it's
Singapore
how,
ni.
it's how you listen. Because hip hop ada bercabang, like what
Shima
Shima was
mentioned.
saying that about sex. Yeah, some rappers, they talk about sex, talk about
Money.
drugs, money, because that's how they live in that hood or
Di sana.
di sana lah.
Di sana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So kita di sini pun macam aku pun nak jadi gitu, but maybe tak sampai ke sana. Then
Dia tak sampai ke sana, kat sini dia ada di Sinun.
yes. So that's why for hip hop, I feel if you take it on a brighter side, it's really encourage you in a certain positive way. Yeah, if it touches on that racism, you talk about drugs. Of course, you dengan lyrics, you cannot just tengok it on the surface.
Yeah.
Some rapper who write lyrics, maybe they say, I use a gun and shoot, example.
Yeah.
But that's not what they're trying to tell you, to take a gun and shoot
Metaphorically
the person.
lah,
Metaphorically,
kira.
So that's why for hip hop, I think, because, and also the unity, you can see different background of religion or race come together to and also because of the poetry. Then it's just, I don't know, it's just cool. I mean
this is something very interesting. Hafiz mentioned about races coming in together in the hip hop culture.
Yep.
I did some of my research. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brother Zarin and also Brother Hafiz. I did some of my research in the early 2000s, right? There is this community where emerged in this hip hop culture, ranging from African Americans, ranging from Latino Americans, ranging from other races, where they emerge to become a hip hop artist. Share some light on that. When we talk about hip hop as a culture, and then bring in races together.
Okay, cerita dia begini. So, kaum minoritas di sana kan. So, kebanyakan dia orang baru sampai daripada keturunan dia orang penjajah lah. Dia orang penjajah bawa mak bapak mereka, datuk moyang mereka ke Amerika. So, belum sebanyak mungkin generasi dia orang belum lagi peluang dalam tahap ekonomi di negara mereka atau peluang untuk membelajar. So, apa-apa yang dia orang ada di depan mata, they will make full use of it. They will use say for example, kalau satu budak Caribbean ni di Amerika boleh DJ, dia akan pakai skill tu untuk cari makan.
It's more of like survival rather than interest lah.
Survival instinct.
Okay. Wow, interesting.
Macam kita lah kat sini.
I mean for us Singaporean growing up
you pun
it's more
boleh
about interest lah.
interest.
Okay, I see.
So di sana lain sikit. Jadi daripada kaum-kaum yang minoritas yang seperti itu, yang cuma ada, okay, for example, saya pernah yang katakan pada kawan saya, kita tak boleh jual dadah, kita tak boleh main basketball sebagai anak Asia. Kita tak boleh rap. Kita sampai ni 3 lah. Ni ibaratkan ni 3 benda. Bukan kata kehebatan orang, cuma benda yang kita tak pegang.
Okay.
Itu mahirkan dia orang.
Kemahiran dia.
Kemungkinan.
That is their forte lah.
Sports, rap, or maaf, jual barang lah. Yeah.
Man, definitely, man, this life or this community of hip hop, it involves a lot of other negative values also lah. I mean, not just the positive aspect like poetry, make you improve your English, like how Brother Hafiz mentioned just now. And the main thing that I want to take in as a very positive aspect from this hip hop culture, there is another element that I really want to discuss on this, because I have yet to macam luahkan tau ini perkara.
Boleh, silakan.
Hanya tak ada the proper shuffle lah in front of me to macam give me some light on it, which is battle rapping, battle rap lah. I find it's very unique. You know, seeing 2 individual up on stage, throwing bars at each other is like wow, man. And these are all macam in an instance macam they are on their feet, thinking. Man, Brother Hafiz, man, share some light on that. What kind of concept is battle rapping is, man, to give some light on that lah.
Okay, for me, from my personal point of view, is like I'm more of a rapper than a MC, like battling. But battling is a skill set that not everybody can be a battle MC. You need to be good on vocab, and some you must have like macam a lot of words, how you arrange it, or and you see things like macam example, okay, now I'm with Sharin, he's wearing a black top,
Okay, give some freestyle here, man.
No, I cannot freestyle, so that's why that's why I say like some rapper, they have a set that they like to write, because it's more like mendalam. Some is like they like to freestyle, like whatever around the surroundings, they can actually like rhyme it, like
macam pantun, balas pantun gitu.
Balas pantun.
Wow.
But in that African American,
tapi kasar sikit.
Kasar sikit, ya.
Daripada kasar bukan sikit, bro. Banyak. And it go by level tau.
Yes. Until to the point yang macam you feel like it's really in your face, and it will lead to violence after. Maybe in the front tak ada lah, right? But after that it becomes like
it's like beef lah.
Yeah, it's a beef.
It's a beef that they carry on with that.
And that's also a sports. I call it a sports as well. Bila kita rap battle ni, dia macam satu sukan juga.
Okay, when you say sports, Brother Zarin, how you want to evaluate on that? Is it because orang bergasak ke apa ke? Give some.
It's about finesse lah. Okay, macam saya pernah di New York masa 2009 hingga 2012.
Okay.
Setiap kali saya pergi sana 6 bulan, balik Singapura 6 bulan. Sana 6 bulan. So saya perhatikan bahawasanya di sidewalk semua orang tengah jalan ni, rapping ni macam ibaratkan makan nasi untuk diorang.
Wow.
Macam you can have like just an ordinary old grandma starts talking to herself, and then macam ni apa ni?
A grandma can drop the bars
tak macam ibaratkan pasal dia jalan dia berbual,
Wow.
So pertuturan ni untuk diorang is like something normal.
So macam I think is, if you can relate macam like our community, macam kita berbual pasar gitu, is like that kind of berbual, like berbual macam kau gimana, it's like that.
Disusunkan lah.
Disusunkan and all rhyming at the end or in the middle.
Wow, I mean, I'm quite fascinated actually. I've been looking up a lot of videos on battle rap, and a few individual where I see, wow, they have very bright minds. Bright, man. When I say bright, dia bukan laju aja, man. The way they can construct their message across is out of the mind, out of the world. Sorry, out of the world. Even if you take one day to come out with that kind of rap lyrics kan. I don't know how they can do it in an instant. No?
Correct.
And most of them, when I see them, when dorang battle rap, dorang berpeluh loh. Berpeluh macam gila. I mean, I can understand. Maybe that's the reason why you said that it's like a sport.
Yeah.
You know, dorang berpeluh. There's this adrenaline macam rush. You spit that bar right in front of your opponent, your face, and you as the opponent, you are receiving that kind of. Maybe share some light on that also, because we want to understand further this culture. So at least the youth get to feel a bit of the old school and the new school feel. Yeah.
Pertama kali lah. First thing kita ni di Singapura sebagai anak Melayu, budaya sebegitu dalam cara pertuturan bukannya kita fasih sangat. Kita orang Melayu ni sopan santun.
Betul.
Budi bahasa.
Kat sana bezanya dia lah satu sukan, because it's about, tadi kita buat pasal survival instinct. So lu kutuk gua, gua kutuk lu kutuk gua kutuk lu balik.
Never ending bro.
Sampai lu kalah ke gua kalah.
Betul.
So kalau kita nak bawa benda tu kat Singapura, walaupun kita pakai dalam bahasa Melayu
culture shock lah.
Sikit. Bahasa Melayu kita indah.
True. Man, this is something that kita sebagai orang Melayu pun ada nak kena uphold our roots and values. Man, no doubt we can copy a bit of Western ideology. Maybe Shema, you want to give some light on that? You've been quiet from the whole time just now.
I think maybe Shima tengah macam.
No, you can direct that question.
I think dia tengah tulis lirik ke for the second bar, 16 bars.
16 bars. So I remind you again, Shema, you should not put your phone on the mic. Okay. So by the way, if you are ready to spit your bars right now, please go.
No. I need time. Actually, it's funny because when I was studying in Australia at the time, and we were, because I major in radio production, so we were doing radio production. One of the we had to come up with a promo lah. We had to come up with a promo. So me and my group mates, we were like macam, oh my god, what are we gonna do? I'm gonna do that kind of thing. So macam I don't know, for me macam I just give me 5 minutes. I went out and then like under all this pressure macam I just suddenly come up with some random bars and then I just wrap it up lah. So my friend put up Missy Elliott punya lagu instrumental in the background, then after that I just rap lah macam, and I can still remember until now. What was it? I think it was something like this is how we do every week on day 2, 5 chicks, 1 dick here to entertain you. Put 2 words together and what do you get? It's mad, it's tasty, gonna make you sweat. A rock on Shema, oh yeah. A rock on Claire, oh yeah. A rock on Perlin, oh yeah. Ash 1, Ash 2, and Rob, put your pants back on, that kind of thing. So much, and I can still remember until now, because
I mean, just to share.
And we won best promo.
That's good.
In the university.
Just to share, Brother Hafiz and Brother Zarin, I never seen this side of my wife yet, up until now lah.
So after this, every night you must write. You must produce the beats and
no, cannot. I cannot be that that part of Nila. But looking at her, yes, she have that creative side. Man, maybe Shema can share a bit on your aspect. I believe hip hop is all about being creative. And looking at my wife, man, she used to study abroad, exposed with all these foreign students. They bring in all their kind of culture alongside with them. Right. Maybe what is your take on that?
I made a lot of friends when I was studying abroad. In fact, my late father actually used to macam advise me lah, macam dia cakap, when you are there, you don't stick with your own clique. You mix around, you mix with the locals there, you mix with the other nationalities and everything. So I did make quite a lot of friends when I was there, and even one of my good friends is a Christian rapper. So macam
nice.
he's a Christian rapper, so macam I used to follow him to gigs and all that, and I mean of course they rap about Jesus, they rap about God, that kind of thing. So macam it's something different and unique. So even until now he's on my Facebook. You can look him up. His name is Simba Mac, Simba, then space MAK.
Shout out to him. Right.
Yes. Hopefully we can have him on the show lah. So because here we have the Muslim rappers and everything. So I've not heard of macam, I'm sure there are Christian punya hip hop in Singapore, yet to venture that. But also I think, you know, I don't know, macam for me in when studying abroad, macam I could write songs tau. Like I write songs, but not so rap, no lah. Rap is just for fun.
Maybe because
aja.
of the environment.
Yeah, because it's very quiet,
Correct,
you know,
correct.
dekat Perth, you know, it's different. Then in Singapore, it's like very macam busy and all that. Then maybe I can ask you guys the question, how you can delve into that side of creativity, you know, being in a hustle bustle of city of Singapore. Because when I came back to Singapore, I just lost my mojo already, you know. I lost my passion. I lost macam too busy.
Saya setuju. Pasal bila saya balik New York, saya tak nak rap terus.
really?
Saya jadi DJ.
Just so many things to do. Singapore macam like you know, so
Pasal
busy.
saya dah nampak yang bagus kat sana, yang tak bagus kat sana. Lebih bagus daripada kita.
Yeah, correct.
Share some light on that, brother Zarin.
Macam example, saya tinggal dengan kawan saya satu kaum African American. Saya tinggal dengan dia about 6 bulan.
Okay.
So saya perhatikan lah gerak-geri dia. Pasal dia pun rap juga. So timetable dia simple. Dia balik kerja, dia belum mandi dulu, dia dah keluarkan buku, dia dah tulis.
Wow.
Tulis.
Dia disiplin.
So dia buka TV, dia tengok basketball sekejap, dia tulis. Lepas tu dia order dia pay dinner, pizza dengan orange juice hari-hari. Ni yang gua masih ingat.
Wow.
Dia tulis.
Wah, heavy hari-hari makan pizza.
Lepas tu dia mandi. Dia mandi, dia keluar, dah bau wangi, dia tulis.
He's always thinking.
Yes.
On the way to work, they think. Yeah. So that's how it comes about.
Wow.
But I just want to add macam
Please.
Shima was ni kan asking about how we get the idea kan to write lyrics. But I think that time high school days, my time tu kan, I mean there's nothing. I mean there's school
Banyak masa
work.
lah,
I tak memang, of course I do bad in school.
Too cool for school lah.
Too cool for school. So you know
That's a good word.
it's too cool for school. So like you write because there's not much things that you want macam really think about. Like macam you balik school, okay, straight away that time was still dial up internet kan.
Yeah.
We use the phone line or something like that.
Yeah.
So got the box. MRIC. So just do beats and you know like do beats, do lyrics and ada macam banyak time. But now if you ask me, right, you know, become a parent already, and like macam alamak, like got no time lah. You know what to
Penat by the time, you know.
and you prioritize lah. But that time was like, you know, the youth was like so much time, you know. Like if you have a gig, you know, like a youth park example, on the Saturday, we can just do like macam balik mandi bikin beats 1 hour. You know, just a basic bass line, you know, and drum loops.
And you good to go.
Good to go, write lyrics 2 days, memorize, you know, inside the toilet. Toilet is one of the inspiration.
Showering, yes.
No, but while I'm showering. So, you know, not while I'm doing other things. Yeah.
Only creative people will understand this.
Wow, amazing. I find it very fascinating. Just want to also share on this. I get your experience, and so we hope you can share. Is this kind of songwriting and being creative in this hip hop venture is some kind of like macam therapy, right? Maybe like macam my wife, you know, she have a lot of time when she was studying at Perth, and it's like macam therapy. You are alone most of the time, so maybe share on that part.
It's an outlet lah.
It's an outlet,
to
is it?
express yourself.
Okay.
You know?
I'm trying to understand actually. Yeah.
Untuk saya lain sikit. Saya sejak saya berhenti rap, saya minat mendengar orang rap pula.
Okay.
So dari situ saya boleh kirakan menyendapkan telinga je lah. Tapi output saya tak ada.
But when you were rapping, and is that macam therapy for you itself?
It is, but I would rather be the listener and the watcher.
I think slowly you will start to venture out and find what fits you lah. Right? Yeah.
For Brother Hafiz, macam mana?
For me, I mean, I agree with Sharin. With age, you know, you become more of a listener rather than the one who try to prove that, I still got the value in the game, but y'all still the same. You know?
Do you want me to drop the beat? Or
you know what I mean? Macam, when you listen, because when we rap, we don't want to listen. You know, in the youth kita macam I want to be the best. You know, I tak dengar.
Kurang mendengar.
Then you know you have that kind of feeling of like, example jealousy or envy towards, you know, animosity towards, you know,
others,
different group. Because in hip hop back then in 90s, there's a lot of group. Brother Sharin was a different group from my group. So, but there's no beef or anything, because in the end of the day, you see now, like, we get older, we come together because of the love of hip hop, one thing, and also some of new knowledge that we actually gain through the years and experiences.
Wow, amazing. And I didn't know that hip hop punya scene have a very deep punya value macam gini. Man, I myself is not really inclined into hip hop, but I love arts. I'm something very macam artistic lah. Like that's the reason why I love to watch battle rap. Because
It's an art. Yeah.
it really portray dorang punya art to the max. No doubt there's a lot of vulgarities and so on, but man, when you listen properly dorang punya art tu, wow, mashallah.
It's like a calculated, can be said, like, how you put the words and, it's a calculation, but it's like a mind kind of memory muscle kind of,
Syllables.
Yeah, syllables and how you put it. Yeah.
Like macam tadi, Brother Hafiz mentioned, you can write a song, and after that, in 2 days time, you can start to memorize that song, be it wherever you are, you just keep on, mantra itu, lyrics, and you can memorize, and after that, it's time to deliver, you deliver, and you nail it.
Yep. And also for that, the lyrics writing tu kan, it's also use your experiences. Sometimes high school days macam macam heartbroken example lah kan. You macam lama sad. Okay, I listen to hip hop music, maybe like like whatever rap group you listen. Okay, I want to write something like that, and you express yourself on the lyrics and the lyrics and. Then you go from there.
Like Shema said, it's true. It's an outlet for you to express yourself.
Yeah, it's like macam painting pun sama, graffiti pun sama, that kind of thing. So,
and also the lyrics writing, also the inti of the lyrics must be there also. You cannot just be writing like macam
ada kaitan lah.
Ada kaitan, tak boleh macam A, B, C, D. Then after weekend I rap, but there's no soul in that. Like music, I think all sort of songwriting need soul kat situ.
Tapi dalam rap ni dalam zaman sekarang lah. Tu semua dah tak penting lagi.
For now, the new
sekarang you can talk about being a gangster while you are caught up living in your parents' home.
For the new,
you can do this, but you're not talking about what you did. So benda ni dah jadi dalca juga.
Dah jadi dalca.
Maybe like when we move from the era of like macam collectivism and then now we are in individualism. You have all the social media, all the self-generated content. So macam it's more like it's me.
And the clout culture.
That's what they want us to be, right? Me. But after that, you forget about the collective.
Correct.
Bergotong royong lah.
The community.
That's why hip hop back in the days, in Singapore or in like 70s, 80s in US, it's all collective. They talk about the lyrics, talk about like I was saying, like racism, like uplifting the community and helping the community out from drug problems. They actually point out a lot of those problems that the community face, and poverty, unemployment, and all those sort of the economical problem.
But at the end of the day, truth be told, benda ni korporasi akan menukarkan untuk mata wang.
True. Man, I
entertainment lah.
Entertainment.
I sering dengar ni phrase tau. Kita berseni untuk rakyat. Kan? And I think hip hop also portray that kind of value. I think back then in the old days, And coming to now, like what you said, there's not much of a collective effort anymore. But there is still, right? Just want to check.
Pada pengalaman saya masih ada. Pasal saya sekarang dengan satu kumpulan kita ni bukannya rappers, tapi kita created a new night from the current era of hip hop punya sounds. Nama kita Wavy. It involves Island Boys, myself and this other DJ of mine called Prof. So daripada situ kita build our own nights. Set up our own artwork before the night. We set up our own campaign, promotions on Instagram semua. Saya belajar banyak juga daripada anak-anak muda ni.
The youth is like, we also discussing about these things. Sometimes we catch up and talk about hip hop. I think we actually, if you say, we are not the legends lah. There's more legends before us. But I feel that now is a good time to actually contribute back to the community, as in not like, I mean, if not monetary wise, you can give knowledge or experiences to the youth, because the youth is the next generation that gonna
Pelapis lah.
pelapis to bring whatever music, any sort of music, even hip hop or band, to bring what the from the
Benar. Tapi tu betul lagi masa-masa ni lah untuk parut lah. And daripada korporasi yang selling this culture, since like macam I'm part of a collective effort, keeping it real, I don't think so. Keeping it sustainable monetarily, yes.
Yeah, true.
Because benda ni dah
What
jadi
sells lah, whatever that
yes,
sells.
hip hop dah jadi worldwide punya
Fenomena.
Because like entertainment, like Shima was talking about entertainment, it's like that, it sells. Like macam you can have example macam just a scenario, you can have a young rapper, maybe like 18 years old, a male rapper, good looking, or female rapper is like wow, then you compare to a old school rapper, example for like maybe age dah 40, 50 years old.
tak ada saham tu.
You know what I mean? The entertainment value.
Macam kami lah.
Jangan tak gitu. First class baik, second class baik, encik.
So the entertainment value is there's a differentiation that orang lebih suka, you can sell these youth, but these legends would not want to let go of that because like, I'm the one who set foot first. Like I'm the first man on the moon. Example.
Yeah, true. Man, going in depth into that, Brother Hafiz, definitely being an old schooler.
Right.
Right. You all have set the bar there. You have set the standard for the next generation to scale up. And without kalau tak ada orang lama, tak ada generasi baru untuk membawa ini bendera. I mean, all of us have pride lah, whatever we do. Be it in whatever hobby or venture that we go into. But I believe it's all about kita forefathers yang set the standard. And a message to the youth out there, definitely we have to be grateful lah. Betul tak? But it doesn't seem that way because dorang they use that to their advantage, they scale up more. And I mean, going back to what I have discussed here, it's more of an individual punya venture lah.
Yeah, because I mean now we have real issues which was so rare back then, which is suicide.
Yes.
You know, and macam because we have come to the individualismnya era where macam like suicide macam okay aku tak happy, I think I'm just gonna end it, that kind of thing. And then cyberbullying, they cannot accept that the negativity upon them, so they don't know how to deal with that, so it becomes an identity issues. Then they have the identity crisis. So I mean these are actually the real issues now that individualism punya kind of situations cannot really put in as much as how the community or collectivism punya mentality can put out there lah. That's why I thought.
It is a good point.
Man, macam kita pay time we are exposed with so many kind of genre musics. Even myself, I love rock. And kita spoiled lah
NG Wang.
Because I mean all of our batch semua is like we spot with so many genre. MTV like macam-macam, MTV Jam, MTV Unplugged, apa macam MTV Asia. So macam banyak, so much for us.
Tapi tak sebanyak macam sekarang. Sekarang ibaratkan buka Spotify dah macam menu. Buka Instagram pun macam menu.
But back then bro, we have a lot of quality music.
Quality.
The lyrics not like sekarang.
Dia, walaupun kita dengar lagu Jiwang, tapi itu Jiwang punya lagu berkualiti, okay? Jangan main-main.
Jiwang lama quality. Bila dia dah masuk macam 2000 dah macam lembik sikit. You know what I mean?
Tapi sengau dia tetap ada.
But one thing definitely I cannot deny, man, old is gold.
Correct.
Old is gold. Up to this date, yes.
You know why you say that?
Why?
Because we are old.
No.
That's why.
We are in the middle.
We don't have macam
we are in the middle.
We are in the middle. You have to understand, we are in the middle. And those yang berkembangkan this hip hop culture, dorang start in the 80s tau. Right, 80s, right, and 90s. That is Zarin punya time. Then early 2000 where is Hafiz punya time. You see, so kita dah in the middle. But again, going back to those yang in the 80s yang berkembangkan this hip hop culture from nothing it became something, right? And I believe we have to give credit to all these kind of
the old heads,
old heads, definitely. And hanya that there's I believe there is always this fine line between the old school and the new school. Always. And maybe we don't want to create any macam friction on that. It's just this is the fine line that is the reality between the old school and new school. Maybe you can give some light on that.
Is the new school macam more angsty? I don't know because I
Saya
haven't
suka
been in
new
touch.
Walaupun saya daripada old school kan.
Yeah.
Oleh kerana kemungkinan saya bekerja dengan banyak anak-anak muda sekarang. Pasal saya pun ada satu kolektif kan. Jadi dari daripada bidang sound quality wise, bukan sound quality, sound punya styles in the new kind of hip hop punya lagu. Yes, aduh.
Oh, more experimental.
More experimental.
They explore.
Yeah, that's why I think you can relate because the way macam kita may thinking also like we want to have like macam something different, like experimental. You know, you mix.
Walaupun yalah ada unsur-unsur yang tak bagus. Tapi saya bila sebagai pendengar saya cuma ambil dia punya sound frequencies. Statics dia saya ambil.
Okay, so bila Abang Syaril macam when you mix around dengan with the younger group lah macam okay, maybe you can share with us like macam what is dorang punya
Worldview.
what's their mind their worldview macam what's their mentality like, you know, what are the stuff that you know they normally talk about, you know, that kind of thing.
Okay, right now kita dalam zaman consumerism lah. So saya anything that is hyped at that moment, anything that is hot at that moment,
Wow.
grab it, photograph it, send it,
Okay.
spread it,
Right.
show it,
Trending
on to the next one.
trending and
Earn it.
For our time, there's not much of snapping because that time most of us sekarang tak afford to have a phone. At that time also wasn't that smartphone era.
Probably Adidas Superstar kita boleh last for 5 years the same pair.
Yeah, the same pair.
Still hot.
Yeah, but for the new generation, I think maybe I got this fun. Okay, I want to show my friends. It's a
By
bit
next week dia dah jual.
dah jual.
Lepas tu dipakai baru pun lagi. So penukaran dia laju. Cuma yalah itu yang kadang saya tanya nak ke mana
But where do they get all that stash?
Oh itu jual beli, dah jual
It's like
beli,
a
dah jual
resale
beli,
kind
dah jual
of
beli,
like
jual
macam
beli.
I beli satu barang like $10 and there's a value of it like macam maybe vintage or limited edition, then you sell it for the
So now it's more about image lah. Image.
Truth be told.
No, but just to say, I mean, I cakap juga, but we also was
Kita ada juga
kita ada
unsur-unsur kan.
masuk juga in that time when we know consumerism, like buying things you want to be like limited edition stuff, brands and everything. But after that, when you know a bit into the game, then like, okay, I don't need this thing to actually like go beyond my limits, Yeah, but actually it's also, I mean, if it's good thing that if they do that and they keep themselves away from drugs or some negative spots, it'll be okay. You can spend shoes, then you don't want to do
Better spend on shoes than drugs
Example,
Yeah, true.
Itu baru image. Belum lagi macam daripada let's say lagu-lagu hip hop sekarang. Okay, siapa masih ingat lagu Havoc?
Wow.
Lagu Havoc.
Tak pernah.
Pasal Joe is a classic person. Siapa ingat lagu Kiki?
Wow.
Drake. By now siapa Kiki?
Right.
Because it was just like a couple of years back kan. Itu ada bezanya. Lagu yang klasik artis buat, yang kita boleh ada impact. Yang macam Drake buat is fast food music. So there's two kinds of thing.
Yep. Evergreen or
evergreen music ke fast food music.
Talking about evergreen music, memang I also listen to Tupac and dia punya kind of music is like memang power lah.
Of course.
Out of the world lah.
Uplifting.
Dia punya album yang dia keluar is always the number one hit and it's not number one hit just because of very funky groove ke apa, bukan. It's more about the way dia structure dia punya songs, you see. And compared to macam now we have artists macam I don't want to mention so much, maybe we have artists macam Iggy, we have artists like macam Tiger, all these.
Okay.
They are very well known also.
And how about Cardi B?
Apa lagu baru dia yang WAP. Aduh.
Zarin dia
still
tapi
lah.
dia macam
but the
have that
thing is,
hits,
this Cardi B, right? Macam she is someone that you love to hate tau. And that's what makes money. And she admits that.
That's what the American, I mean, sorry to say, but it's American culture of that. Oh, I love to hate this person. And the more you do something that is like hating, I
macam
love.
hulu tarik.
And then the more you keep on watching her video, she's getting all the money, right? And she even said that.
Correct. Yeah, that's true.
Tapi yalah, sebagai regular consumers, listeners, okay lah. Cuma kita kisahkan anak-anak kita.
Correct. It's true.
Yeah, I mean, talking about future, where do you see hip hop in 10 years time?
Wow.
Maybe we want to since we are talking about hip hop
So
culture
big.
among
It's
the
like
youth.
like a job interview. Where do you see yourself 10 years down the road for this company? I mean,
Jangan pressure, jangan pressure. Ini tak ada right or wrong punya question.
Kalau hip hop music, saya boleh katakan dia macam apa tau, macam jazz. Okay, jazz dan hip hop sama, tapi nanti pecahan jazz ada lain-lain kan. Sama juga macam pecahan hip hop, ada trap, ada Brooklyn drill, ada lain-lain lagi lah. Ada sama macam jazz ada contemporary, ada all this ada terminology So kalau nak cakap hip hop tu, dia dah sama standard dengan jazz sekarang. Cuma what kind of hip hop are you talking about?
Wow.
Yeah.
And also the pecahan is labelled by the media actually. I mean like macam kalau rock dulu ada alternative rock, ada pop rock. So who claim that is rock? I mean example, is maybe the media company or newspaper say, oh, this is alternative rock, this is grunge rock. But maybe example you play guitar, the riff example is the same concept as a punk riff. Maybe it's slow or this is blues, that kind of thing. That's what I'm just thinking of my.
So yalah, kita nak ketahui pecahan 73 mana satu yang benar kan. Sama jugalah.
Mendalam tu bro. Ini dah falsafah dia. But definitely, I believe, since we are talking about hip hop, maybe we open this for discussion. Knowing me personally, I've seen your talent and your ability in whatever thing that you venture into. And I believe anak-anak Melayu kita ni, dorang ada creative mind.
True.
Dorang punya creative mind ni kadang-kadang kita undermine kita punya creative mind just because kita ni anak Melayu. Kita Asian. Berbanding dengan orang Western kan. Kita tengok orang Western, wah besar, tinggi, wah dorang gagah lah. Tapi padahal kita, anak-anak Melayu kita ni, we have more wider punya way of thinking. Look at the way we write songs. Look at the way we sing. Look at our talents lah. And basically. So I believe this has been cultivated in you guys. And both of you. But daripada youth lagi, you have cultivated that skill and whatnot. Am I right to say that not? For this aspect?
Benar. Tapi pada saya itu cuma luaran dia. Zaman sekarang kalau kita nak churn out something like that, it's all now on codings. So instead of the regular aesthetics of nak kena spray kat tembok, sekarang more like okay, macam mana aku nak buat spray kat tembok tapi kat dalam an app. So art kita is more virtual right now. So you channel that traditional methodology of arts into something virtual. So it's still creative jugalah. Cuma coding ni
But banding dengan you all are really hands-on.
Of course.
When talk about songwriting, when talk about making music, hip hop, presentation, you all are.
Yeah, because we learn macam dulu kita buat recording. We learn basic, like macam not on digital knobs. So when we do beats or we do like musical instrument like I main guitar or do beats, kita pakai telinga. I don't know about others, but I use my ear to actually, I don't know how to read the chords, but I use my ear to listen to the tunes. So it's a bit different. Like now, like like you say digital and everything, you can just adjust like reverb just to that kind of thing.
Presets.
Zaman dah berubah
That's why you need to change. When zaman dah berubah, kita nak kena ubah juga. Tapi we should not forgo our values, like apa values that we have.
Definitely. I mean, maybe Shima, you can get this before kita close up kita punya session. Definitely this is something that we can discuss because of the value of kita punya orang lama and the knowledge yang dorang ada. And kalau benda dah being digitalized, everything dah being digitalized, virtualized, that proper knowledge dah sooner or later dah hampir extinct tau bro.
Post lah.
And hampir lah, I will say hampir. Unless people like you guys ke, the old birds ke kan, they decide to pass it down and share it to the world, then it make a difference lah. If not, it's going to be just in one of those museum, hip hop museum maybe.
Okay juga. Tapi ownership saya lah.
Wah, kaya saya macam
Ambil royalties.
Royalty, that's true. Maybe we are moving to that generation. We are going to the next generation, which is the 5G generation.
Benar.
So hip hop also will be evolving in certain ways. Man, all genres. So give some light on that, man. My the reason why I ask is I takut benda knowledge lama-lama macam gini akan luput tau. Pasal there's a lot of positive value yang ada dalam this aspect.
Okay, pada saya yalah, hip hop ni ada keilmuan dia, tapi ada kebanyakan ilmu dia tak bermanfaat. Jadi pada saya, kalau hip hop tu hilang, hilanglah daripada saya. Tapi yang saya akan galakkan untuk anak-anak muda is to take up ni lah, this whole digital world punya saya tak tahu apa inti dia kita panggil ni terlalu besar kan istilah
virtualization
virtualization.
That's why macam Jamiroquai ada satu lagu
virtual insanity. Dia so fast forward.
That's fast forward.
Virtual insanity.
There's a track
1995.
Never.
1995.
Futures made of
virtual insanity. So I always relate the time now 2020 is like I pick at the time I was still 95 I was primary school.
Primary school bro.
I was listening to that already. So
Kita ingat dia gila.
Kita ingat apa?
Kita yang gila.
Because music video is like the flooring semua macam moving. It's so futuristic that time.
Wow.
So when you live until this time like okay.
As if macam dia prophesize
something like
this
that.
Kind of vision.
That means an artist already have that kind of thought, like macam out of the box kind of thought that not say foresee the future, but something that dia rasa macam you're gonna go towards that thing that beyond the touches of flooring moving macam escalator kan, the car music video
screen touching punya ni lah.
Screen touching 95. I mean 95 tak ada pun. Kita pun tak mampu nak beli handphone kan. Like macam nak beli handphone lah, pager cukup
iPod pun belum keluar 95.
Tak payah pergi jauh. Not just music, movies also. Back to the Future.
VHS best.
Ada apa hoverboard
I think now they have it, right?
Man, definitely, man, we have learned so much from both of you today. Definitely we want to touch a bit on keagamaan sikit lah. But again, like I mentioned before, creative mind ni diorang ada very unique way in terms of progress in dorang punya life tau. Because diorang kreatif. Anak Melayu kita ni kreatif, diorang ada akal yang I would say high in terms of intellect lah. How do you see yourself as you grow older, mature, and along the years, and now being a father and then soon to be a father? With this hip hop culture, it's been inculcated with you throughout the years, and now and transiting into macam orang cakap tu berhijrah lah. Tapi kan, we are always doing it, right? But now being mature at this level, right? How do you see yourself?
I think so before actually like if they can like for the guys to say anything, right? I think that macam the musicians are already doing it now, and they are not shy to express that change in them. Like macam let's say for Cat Stevens, the way they convert, then he still his love for music is still there, but he channel it to dakwah, and then he gained a different audience and everything. And no doubt he was dia kena tahan kat customs, dia kena macam-macam, but he still pursue dia punya music and things like that. So macam it's which I think is okay lah. Doesn't mean that macam orang dah berhijrah, okay, then after that you can stop music altogether lah, so I think that it's still okay. Maybe you might lose some followers lah. They like macam apa ni kau pakai, that kind of thing. Okay, like for example when I was on 987, when I was a radio presenter at that time lah, although I was only part-time, but they did ask me to cover a lot of the DJ punya shifts, the Martins and all that. So macam I got a good macam grip on macam how it works and everything. And then at the same time, at that time I already macam also nak go into agama already. So I wanted to nak pakai tudung and things like that. So I would wear, and then after that in the studio I will buka or I will just wear macam apa tu, snow cap or that kind of thing. So macam
beanie
a beanie. And actually I don't want to mention names but one of the female DJs dia macam like turn off a bit, when she saw me that time I was wearing abaya, so I was just presenting, and then she was like, what are you wearing, that kind of thing. So macam some might get alienated lah. So I think maybe these are the things that probably need to be prepared that will likely to happen. And then also macam for my friend that I was sharing with you guys earlier, he's a Christian rapper and all that. So his followers also, he encourages them to be closer to God. So maybe you guys can, share a bit about how we can actually channel that and also encourage our youth.
Heavy.
I think because bukan nak cakap macam kita berhijrah like what you are saying, lupa music or whatever, because it's still like entertainment a little bit. But of course like what I feel that as you grow older, like what Brother Sharin was talking about, the point that the culture is not our culture, not our community culture. So we just take a barat culture where it does not relate betul-betul, we don't see like crime on the street, like macam orang kena rompak,
betul.
or like kind of thing. So as you get older, then like now I'm a father, and, then got married and everything. So you just want to change your ways and you relate, because actually if you talk about hip hop, I mean some of the teachers of hip hop also really relate to Islamic teachers. Like you talk about Malcolm X, Arsha Bass, then a lot of hip hop rapper yang macam maybe the old school, so some of them ada berhijrah. Maybe you like from Tupac the group, Outlaws, Napoleon, now nama dia Muta, he's in Saudi, then Loon, also a lot of few names, but like what Shima was saying, that you will lose all that thing, but in the end of the day, whether are you ready to sacrifice? Sacrifice.
But you will gain new followers lah. It's just
correct.
you win some, you lose some.
The niat lah. The niat in our heart. We want to hijrah because, example, if in music you want to hijrah, I want to this because I want to gain that popularity, because dia akan tukar. You learn a little bit of Islam, you akan tukar sikit, you want to be better. It's not saying that the other culture is not good, but maybe it doesn't relate.
It won't be that drastic lah, macam from hip hop to kasida.
Because it's a bit hard, because kasida also you need to learn. You cannot just macam because I'm musically inclined, I terus nak masuk kasida because sekarang I dah belajar agama.
Correct.
It doesn't work that way, because you need to learn how to converse, that kind of thing. It's a lot of knowledge lah.
Macam tadi Shema cakap, betul lah, you can berhijrah, at the same time you can still love your music.
Bagi saya,
Brother Zarin, please.
Bagi saya sebenarnya saya menyamar. Saya pasal hari ni nama saya Muhammad Sharin.
Saya menyamar
lagi nama saya satu sebagai DJ XG, lagi satu untuk another market is called Sino Shah. So DJ XG ni satu karakter yang main untuk anak-anak muda-mudi. Saya masih main kat club. Saya tak kenafikan. Saya comfortable, selesa. Saya berjaga. Macam mana saya berjaga-jaga? For example, kadang sounds a bit sensitive, tapi memang saya ada saiz dalam speed. Saya selawat juga untuk memprotekkan lah.
Iman kita
tak kerja ni.
Pasal the environment tu bukan environment positif. I believe.
And at the same time, dalam golongan anak-anak muda Melayu yang pergi club ni, ada juga saya selitkan satu sini, dakwah minor sana sini, dakwah sini sikit taklah sampai in their face. So pretty much kalau kita dapat sesuaikan diri dalam satu golongan yang kita tak sebati, tapi kalaulah kita dapat sebati dengan izinnya, itulah perjalanan saya dah nampaknya.
Jadi orang
dapat selit sikit lah,
dunia seni ni, the world of entertainment, like it's not an easy world. It's not an easy world to venture itu. Like Brother Zarin mention, he have to face with this kind of environment on a daily basis, and to uphold kita punya keimanan tu, I think it's not that easy.
I think it's more of macam for a Muslim to be a part of a Western punya entertainment. The survival is there tau. Macam okay, like my own experience like being on English punya radio station and everything, so macam we also have to go to clubs, we have to promote alcohol and everything. So for me, I only like the presenting part. So I didn't like to macam go to all these night events, night sports, and macam like talk, because I also don't like to macam campur orang. Like I campur orang, tapi macam a lot of them are fake. So I would rather just macam relax and with my friends smoke shisha, that kind of thing. So it's
macam a clash of different different.
And then also it's more of macam when you campur dengan diorang, they'll be like, come drink, you know, that kind of thing. Because and for some of us maybe iman tak kuat ataupun macam not so much iman tak kuat.
Macam you don't want to offend the person.
Saya selalu pakai alasan ni. Sekali kalau dia tanya, no, it's okay. Please. You know what? My doctor tell me if I drink, I die one. Like now I die. Terus members backup Itu je saya punya alasan.
Medical condition.
Good excuse because
Mungkin nak kena serius
I pun I do that kind of thing. Macam because I have alcohol poisoning. But just action je cakap. So at least you know it's a health condition. Rather than if you say because my religion doesn't allows me, then it becomes sometimes it can become a debate because the person was already like half
kau nak kat club kau tak minum
then tak payah nak syarahan or whatever. So it becomes so I try to actually even for non-Muslim friends, even I could accompany them if I go club like back then kan. So that's the reason. You don't drink. Alcohol poisoning, bedek je lah. You need to come out. I drink a lot last time. Just to
tipu putih lah.
True.
Aku use the same excuses, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. See, macam kita kat workplace sama juga. And when let's say kita pergi solat ke apa, solat kat tangga ke apa. Nanti lepas habis solat kat tangga, nanti bos tanya ke apa, where you go? Misal then we will say, oh no, I go toilet. Oh, so long I go toilet. I got stomach ache problem. I got diarrhea problem, issue semua. Tapi tengah bawa sejadah. Kan? So again, not say that kita tak nak tell the truth. Hanya we don't want to hurt people with the truth. I guess.
But actually, I just want to point out because of what you were saying about work ni kan. I think everyone who works ada that kind of thing. But I heard this ustaz before. Just want to share.
Okay.
I forget, but it's from Malaysia. I think it's a mu'alaf. So he was telling the boss that, I pray. They tell the truth and they pray. Then the boss say, it's your work time. But the reason that he gave was like, boss, I pray because I pray for the company to success. So I think it's a good reason. So you know, I need some mu'alaf. You know, it's surprising some mu'alaf who convert. So I think it's quite a good reason. I mean,
very good. Pray some more. Go.
So they say, boss, you also can pray to your God. I pray to my God. So the business will be success. So I think it's a good. I mean, concept of it. I forget who's the ustaz. I forget the name, but it's
otak bergeliga.
I mean, kita dalam negeri majmuk ni I think cubaan dan rintangan anak-anak Muslim kita kan. Inilah kita pengorbanan yang harus kita buat lah.
Correct.
You know?
But it's not easy like macam like music you sacrifice too. I mean, of course like macam you baru start, you 18 years old. The fire is there. Kita youth macam fire, kita nak hip hop, kita nak buat punk music, rock music, whatever lah. To be seen. But once you reach a certain age kan, reality struck. You want to get out the scene, you know what I mean?
As fast as possible.
Yes, you know. But of course I listen, kat rumah pun I listen music. Of course not macam kat rumah semua senyap. You know, nak dengar kasidah. Zikir.
I mean, I think kita nak ada balance lah.
Balance. Yes.
Because kadang-kadang I say this, you know, apa macam tu, I mean in most people macam dorang dah macam tu tak masuk dengan satu jalan dorang fail to see the small little things where people can connect to each other. And macam I give myself an example lah. Macam when I baru-baru balik belajar tu, and memang a bit difficult for me to actually blend in back with people from the hood lah. I would say. So it take me some time. Few years actually, that transition. I mean, not say transition, that going back, mingling with them.
Yeah, you were still going out dengan kain pelikat.
I mean,
like in town area.
Who okay, man, for those who know me, Indra Sahib in 2020 is different from Indra Sahib in 2010. Okay? Because there's a lot of difference there. So when I baru-baru balik, so I can go to town area, Orchard we talk about back then was like macam Hiran back then I don't know whether still exist, dah tak ada lagi dah tak ada lagi. So back then kan turun dengan jubah dengan songkok. So and then it turned off a lot of people lah bro. Seriously, even my close friend who still macam pakai baju Stussy, you know, all this kind of stuff. So
Stasi.
Oh sorry.
Fashion good, fashion police.
Okay, so dorang are still macam in that scene. And I come dengan macam Pak Ustaz and it turned them off really. So again, like I said tadi, truth hurts lah. And so for those yang belum lagi ready, we cannot macam force them. Macam tadi Brother Zarin give a very good punya approach, and dia selit. So it's not macam nak kasih dia satu kelupuk kat muka dia kan, wake up call.
Tak boleh hadang tu.
Tak boleh kan, betul tak bro So dia kasih selit sikit. Maybe dengan sikit tu jadi banyak bro
Sikit-sikit lama-lama jadi
bukit.
That is rap. Sikit-sikit lama-lama jadi bukit.
Really?
No, like it's like rhyming kind of. Sikit-sikit lama-lama.
How can you not heard of that? So long.
Okay lah, sorry lah. I tak pandai lagu-lagu ni kan. So okay, we want to close this session.
Yep.
Maybe we want to give peluang kepada Brother Zarin dengan Brother Hafiz kita to give a positive message lah to kita pay youth, and for those who is still in this industry, in this culture, what is the takeaway that they can have from kita punya discussion today?
Maybe to give the you go first.
Saya.
Life ni advice lah. Life ni advice.
I mean, untuk saya kan, bila saya dah masuk dalam industri hip hop ni, tak adalah industri hip hop kat Singapore. Ialah entertainment ni kan. Goes back to matlamat. Apa saya nak buat dengan benda ni? Saya nak parut duit ke, saya nak berdakwah ke. So bila saya dah tahu matlamat saya kan, so benda tu jadi orang kata tu berfaedah lah. So saya took the route of, saya masih DJ, saya masih ada upcoming punya projects. Saya masih jumpa kawan-kawan saya dalam kolektif yang saya sebut tadi. At the same time saya masih dengar lagu baru yang sekarang hip hop sounds sekarang punya, masih kini lah. So at the same time saya berjaga-jaga. Saya pun update juga. Macam tadi kata apa, Cardi B kan, saya pun macam lagu EP, lagu tu jahat tu, tak boleh. Jadi saya boleh tahulah pasal idea yang tadi kan, kita pun nak kena mempertahan anak-anak kita ni. Benda gini kan.
Betul.
Make sure jangan hashtag Cardi B tau.
No. This show is not to trash out or to post any negative things about whoever. Not just individuals, macam artis ke apa, tak ada whoever out there. And this show is just to macam kita chat and coffee talks.
Right.
And
pada saya budaya ni dia tak akan pupus, dia akan stay terus. Tapi kita nak jaga.
Yes. There's always this fine line.
Jaga diri. That's what our parents punya advice. Jaga diri.
Betul. Brother Hafiz pula macam mana?
For me, my opinion is simple. Whoever for the youth like still doing hip hop music or all this entertainment, do it. That's not okay after this you listen maybe I want to stop. No, just do it because it will actually brings out a lot of experiences like based on like I want to share a bit my experiences from music. Then
yang kau PLA tu
like love fashion. Then I work with someone close friends to open a skate store. Then I go to LA. I haven't shared. I go to LA to see the real hip hop. Like because like
pengalaman masuk jail macam mana?
Masuk I'm not a prisoner, but I masuk lock up with my family members now. Like a few of them, like my cousins. We were in Mexico border.
Wow, Mexico City.
In Tijuana. So that's my experience. But before that, yang kat LA, so like what Shahrin
living the life,
point
bro.
out for the youth, like macam
he looks Mexican.
Chicano. Chicano.
Okay, maybe we just share a bit lah the experience. Okay, just cut this short. Like we from San Diego, kita ada macam skateboarding punya competition or something like that. So we go. So we just take a 2 hours bus go to Singapore and Malaysia. So I pergi lah Tijuana with my friends. Budak-budak Melayu suka pergi sana, pakai macam Breno, beli dan balik. So we were talking in bahasa lah, pasal kita tak nak berbual English. So they would know kan. So kita berbual Melayu, diorang macam weird because we look like them. Like we look like the Latinos. And we are holding a Singapore passport. So that's where macam after that kena check and everything. Kena syak wasangka lah. Then after that expect, then kita kena masuk lock up, but maybe like 5 hours, I think so lah, 5 hours or days, I forgot. But it was like 2008. I remember. So Singapore Embassy did check. So like for the youth, like I say, if you're doing hip hop, you really love this hip hop industry,
take a trip to
New York.
Americas.
New York, the 5 boroughs where hip hop was born. Then if you love macam gangster rap, example
Brooklyn lah.
Brooklyn for that one. If you love gangster rap,
the Bronx.
He went there. I tak pernah pergi New York, so
saya pergi, saya tukar balik. Yang tak pernah pergi tu, pergilah.
Because sekarang
Tengok tukar ke tak?
betul. When I go LA pun lain macam
Yeah.
kalau sini orang nak gangster macam Tupac pakai bandana.
Jaya ya oh.
Jaya lah. Bila you pergi LA, you nampak
Kejung
because macam I cut bald, so straight away they know you macam gang. You know, when you go to the hotel, you park your kereta, orang-orang kat the hood will tengok who from which gang. So you takkan nampak macam I nak pergi pakai bandana, you know, like colour to wrap my colour. So it's a different ball game there. And you kalau salah masuk hood, you might be shot. You know, that is the life of them. That's why when they write lyric about gun violence, about but I know sometimes they talk about women, you know, like oppressing them, whatever. It's not good, But like I said, for the youth, you still do hip hop, but take a trip and see for yourself what America
and just be careful lah.
and just be careful what have to
And
offer
wear
you.
mask.
For now you wear
tak boleh
mask.
travel lagi.
And also because like kalau hip hop is good, like because of hip hop music, like I can say it brings me also closer. After that, I'm like berhijrah or whatever. You know, you nak sebab to Islam more.
Yeah.
Because after that you feel like macam sacrifice lah. I don't want this thing anymore because it doesn't excite me anymore. Because dah buat, then you go to Islam. So you go back to basic when you are, your family taught you about Islam teachers and everything. Yep. So I feel like just do the music for our youth and gain new knowledge. And knowledge doesn't end like that, like
At least pengalaman.
pengalaman dia can bring that to do business because hip hop also teaches you to do business. So it's the same like macam the hip hop pioneers, I feel like they take a bit of the Islamic teachers because most of them are African American. If you talk about the history of hip hop, how the slave was brought into America, the first Muslim, slave, and it becomes like that. It's all about Islamic teachers. But along the way, like of course, like us also our community, along the way kita pun go astray.
Yeah.
I mean, graffiti ada Islam. I mean, like the ayat also now they improvise.
So it's also like that's why I say hip hop tu dia ada macam unsur-unsur a bit of.
Okay, sebenarnya hip hop ni actually agama kalau kau tak tahu. Dekat New York ni.
It's a religion to them.
So cuma benda tu tak dipraktikkan banyak orang lah. Siapa yang the first tier of the founders, they take that as a religion.
Oh, they take it very seriously.
Yes.
Like KRS One. Nah macam reggae also Rastafari.
It's a
Dan
religion.
kita dulu dengar reggae kita macam cool macam Bob Marley. But you don't know that it's a religion that you practice in America. So
Toasting tu dia pakai khutbah apa?
The religion of love.
So they have all those things like religion by smoking weed or whatever, because if you see a Jamaican, you don't
Mazhab
say
lain
if it's a Muslim Jamaican, you cannot say like ragaman or you cannot say that because they are not Rastafari. They are a Muslim.
Vegetarian.
I experienced that before, when I nampak macam that guy from Jamaica. Oh, so you're a Rastaman. I was like kena slam because brother, I'm a Muslim. So I'm macam okay. Then from there I have an explanation. Because kita tak tahu apa kita like maybe the Jamaican still the Rastaman. So the kind of thing. But like for music wise, for the youth, go ahead. You can explore not only hip hop. So when you do hip hop, just don't constrict yourself to just hip hop music. Explore. You can go to like house music, like dance music, whatever, like punk, rock, whatever, experimental, explosion in the sky, that kind of thing. So when you produce, you get a lot of ideas of how you want to create the new sound.
Like now macam Lavi, right? That song Lavi, they fusion dengan the Indonesian punya ni.
But going back to listening all this music, I think the bottom line is to have a good barrier lah.
Yes.
Control. There's a good control, and sometimes kita get carried away.
Yes.
We have this
Banyak
illusion.
perangan lah.
We have this illusion.
There's the word. Even my wife also. Okay, sorry to say my wife. Shout out to my wife Yasmin. And my baby boy Omar Abdul Shakur. Okay, Shakur nama I took from
Tupac Shakur.
But it's Allah's name, so I need to put
Shakur,
Omar Abdul Shakur. Slave of Allah. So apa ni? To my wife also cakap banyak berangan. She always remind me. That's why it's also good like just to share. Remind me you can like berangan lah you nak hip hop because it's good like. Because of that, you have a reality check. Aku macam
I think I should meet your wife. We seem to be too real, for our husbands.
Tapi, I mean, saya faham from Hafiz punya
We
perspektif.
slap them with reality.
Daripada saya, it's not berangan. Saya make money.
You're living the dream. You're living the dream lah.
Not a dream. It's something, a reality.
Passion lah.
It's just that.
Passion.
But that is his source
My
of
income.
Source of income.
For me, that time when we were doing hip hop was like the youth happy. It's not about the money, But now, kalau you check up, if I'm still in hip hop, you tell me you do it for fame. Okay, fame we put aside. If you talk about you do it for monetary value, I say I'm sorry to tell you the truth. I need monetary value because I got overheads, man. Come on, I cannot be like rapping for you free and like big corporation would take advantage. So for the youth, that's why like what I can advise like you need to know the
Your
way.
worth.
The market,
Your worth.
also
You cannot
need to
just
know.
like macam, I want to get a free show. Okay, free show lah. I mean, makan tak ada. You need to take bus,
They
example.
still do that.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the struggle.
They
What I believe
exploit.
in the hip hop, but we are happy back then. Kita buat macam happy lah, tak kita dapat duit sekolah $2 tak apa, safe. Pasal weekend nak perform kat youth park. So you know, but now the value of food also
You pergi
is,
tak? You pub?
Pergilah.
so the value of the food now also is rising. So
Yeah.
for the youth, you nak kena
Strive
kena
No, you
strive.
cannot macam be so gullible when they tell you, oh, it's for your exposure.
Yes,
No.
it doesn't work. Yeah.
Because now musicians,
Am I right?
artists,
It is.
If I'm wrong,
Because right now tu diorang boleh bodoh-bodohkan kita lah. Tapi zaman sekarang exposure tu tak payah daripada diorang. Kita pun boleh buat exposure daripada sini pun.
Social media bro.
yeah.
You're talking about social media.
Tapi selamat kita time tak berani pula orang bodoh-bodoh kita. Sorry tak ada orang bodoh-bodoh.
Benar.
Ada orang bodoh lah.
Yang cuba tu lah maksud saya.
Yeah.
So but right now kalau anak-anak muda nak buat hip hop tu, saya akan nasihatkan fikir 2, 3, 4 kali dulu.
Oh dia bagus lah, dia punya advice ya.
Advice
Kalau
very wise.
Kalau
From
boleh
the streets
parut lah. Kalau tak boleh parut, kerja Grab pun okey juga.
Yeah. Man, it's always to take this as a passion rather than to take this as an obsession.
But I like how Abang Sharin is still like in the scene, macam you get to really understand the youth of today, and rather than for us macam we don't know then we judge them, kind of thing. So macam it's actually to understand their struggles as well.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, maybe paling best masuklah sekolah muzik as a start. Macam saya daripada LaSalle.
LaSalle,
Orang
LaSalle
pandai
school.
daripada LaSalle.
So
Ya betul. I mean it's true. Because I don't go for school.
bila kita masuk art school, at least kita widen kita punya musical perspective, not just hip hop lah.
Because kalau you compare those rappers in America,
Pun
I
masuk
tell you
music
seriously,
school.
like if you talk about example some of the rappers, if
Kanye
I
West,
Ludacris, they have like
masuk sekolah punya.
PhD. Even I think that
Yang tak, bukan yang tak siapa?
I don't know. There's a lot of rappers. They have MJG, A-ball,
A-ball, MJG, yes.
Yeah, you know, all they are di sekolah. It's not like macam kita ni macam like you say berangan macam kita lupa sekolah. Knowledge, then we just want to be like that. But they are having PhD,
Well,
you know.
tu
like,
betul. Banyak kita punya favourite rappers tu pergi sekolah.
yeah.
Diorang cuma menyamar
Yeah.
pasal they have to
Educated
act
lah.
Yeah.
to get the numbers and
correct.
you know.
Yeah. Like Justin Timberlake just got his PhD, I think, in music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why we encourage kalau betul-betul you really want to do the music,
Go to music school.
go music school. If,
Learn scales, notes,
of course it
cadence.
be a struggle macam of course you face struggle of monitoring macam susah nak masuk, but if you have the niat to do it, insyaAllah you will get, but you must go on the right channel lah.
Yeah,
You know?
true.
You work lah, you can like what you say, do delivery ke apa dah tak malu apa rapper lah. It's still monitoring because nowadays a lot of people care about the
Image,
Clouds.
the comments,
Yeah.
the, you know, I cannot accept the criticism. I tak cool, you know.
Yeah,
Cannot. In the other day, nobody's gonna pay your bill, man. You know, you need to find your own source. Yeah.
Masya Allah, man. Today punya topic kita have discussed a very wide range of punya
Alhamdulillah.
content. Alhamdulillah, man. I would like to extend my appreciation to Abang Zarin and also Brother Hafiz.
Terima kasih anytime bro.
And to come into Seeker session and share and give us this new light on the hip hop culture.
It's our
old
honor
and new,
to,
man.
Yeah, it's our honor to also, and also before that, last word is to apologize if we ever on this platform that we salah cakap.
Menyinggunkan hati sesiapa di sana. Tapi but the thing is kita berbual yang benar lah so far. Saya rasa
So
tu
far.
benar.
I think it's more of a discussion rather than to macam nak pinpoint orang punya kesalahan lah. I mean we're not here to actually pinpoint
Maybe what we are
negative
saying
aspect
also
lah.
maybe it's wrong. People ada different view.
view. Yeah.
Okay, it's okay. We must be open. Yeah, don't be close door.
Alah, most part I think Cardi B yang tercekik lah sekarang.
Kau tak habis-habis yang you Cardi B.
Kali dah kita sebut nama dia kan.
Cardi B, I think hashtag Cardi B lah. Because I think
Ni kalau kita hashtag dia habis tau, kita punya video viral lah.
I think maybe Shima can write some lyrics that can battle Cardi
Maybe.
B.
lah. I think she will nanti confirm kena kecam.
Maybe next week you be on your flight to LA tau, maybe tau. Well, but again, Masya Allah, terima kasih and terima kasih kepada Brother Zarin and also Brother Hafiz for coming down to Seeker session, and really appreciate your time. So,
Thank you.
yeah, for those that who's listening and watching, thank you again for catching up with us. Stay tuned for our next episode on Seeker Session. And for those who support our content, please do support our Patreon page. I will give the description on the video description below. So till then, me Indra Sahib
And
Saya-
Shima.
and
Muhammad Syahrin.
And Hafiz.
Hafiz saja, dia tak ada initials
Ada, tapi if you ada initial, this platform gonna be like maybe like 3-4 hours. Seriously, we can go deep, we can sit down over coffee and like macam sharing session.
Like and share Seeker session.
Like and share.
Seeker's Nest. What's up?
Maybe I think Zarin boleh rap.
Okay, maybe this is just a request lah. Maybe you all can do the outro lah. Come on, Badavis. Yeah, go.
Oh, dah kena freestyle. I'm not good at freestyle Dah kasih pun sikit tadi. Lah, ni there's a okay, cuba dah lama tak rap ni kan. Okay, let's try. A secret session It's a secret session, nothing to mention. You know what's happened. We got brother Shahrin, brother Indra, sister Shima, and brother Hafiz. That's it.
Yeah.
Dah lama lah tak rap, so dah punya, you know, see, the skill is already like slowly.
Never mind. The main thing is fun.
But I think Shima's rap is still the best, you know.
The best in town.
No, okay. You know that time I entered a talent show dekat sekolah when I was in university, and because I cannot play musical instrument, and then I needed someone to help me, so I met that guy Simba Mac, the Christian rapper. That time dia pun masih baru naik juga. So
you guys like exchange
He
and-
beatbox for me,
okay.
and then I sang yang lagu apa tu yang I love you baby, and then he did the beatbox. So it's also macam spontaneous, you know. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, before kita drag lagi 1 jam. I hope our viewers and listeners have a very good time with this podcast session. Inshallah, we will meet up again and tune with us on our next episode. Till then, signing off from Seeker Session. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.